Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
And today is the Wednesday edition of our Tuesday Telegram. And so we want to start, since we're now in the month of May. Our last time together with those who joined us was still back in April. But May is the month that the Catholic Church devotes to the Blessed Mother. And so in thinking upon that, the Blessed Mother, as Scripture shares with us, she pondered all things in her heart. And even through hardships and sufferings, she was able to focus on the positives of how things would come out in the end. And so that is where we are right now, in terms of, we know we've been talking about the hardships and everything that everybody's facing. And in May, we would like to focus on, as the saying goes, the rainbow after the rain. Now that we're starting to wind down our time with remote learning, things are coming to a close. We have less than 4 weeks for all students through 11th grade. And then, of course, our seniors only have about a week and a half left. We thought that we'd like to spend just a moment or two reflecting upon things that we've heard from our community of the positives that are coming out of what has been a very difficult time for many people. Some of these positive we've heard are that families are now spending more time at dinner together. The pace has slowed down for some families, because we can't go out and do things. Families are spending more time together. And so that time, we're finding, is very precious. And there have been families that have been wrapping their arms around that and taking the time to really enjoy good old style family dinners. We've also heard of some students and those who have been actually getting away from the group texting that has gone on and the social media, and now they're spending more time with their families. They're spending more time reading, just really taking time to slow down and enjoy time together, as well as just some alone time. And there's been many examples of those who are finding that in this time of hardship, there's lots of positives that surround us, including just looking at nature as entertainment. And so we can't go to the movies. We can still watch television, but there's people who are spending more time outside and just enjoying watching the squirrels and the deer and the birds, especially since we're in this time, this beautiful season that we're entering. And although it's been a little chilly on and off, at least we're not rushing towards summer like sometimes we do. And with May, yesterday, being May 5th, was National Teacher Appreciation Day. And so I'm going to turn it over to Paula to explain. We had a very busy day yesterday. Blessed Sacrament, we did, some of us, yesterday on the 5th.
So as you know, every year we honor 2 teachers of the year. We have a lower school teacher of the year and an upper school teacher of the year. And our teachers actually vote on whom they feel should be teacher of the year. So it's not something that we choose. Administration does not have a part in it. They are voted on by their peers. And this year's teachers of the year are Miss Newbill and Mrs. O'Brien. And so we knew we had to celebrate them in a special way. So yesterday we surprised them at their houses. We gave them about a 5-minute warning, and we showed up in the school bus. It was a team of about 7 of us. And we surprised them by announcing that they had been chosen as teacher of the year. We gave them a yard sign. We took pictures. There were tears, and it was wonderful to see them in person. And actually, it was a part of a greater road trip that took place yesterday. Over a course of 8 hours and 202 miles, spanning from eastern Henrico all the way to western Powhatan, we traveled to our sophomores' homes to deliver their class rings. And I can't tell you how much it filled our hearts to see them in person. Some of them we woke up kind of early, but it was wonderful to see them in person, and to see you all happy and healthy. We also went to our 2 Teachers of the Year homes, and we also surprised our salutatorian and our valedictorian. This year's salutatorian is Raymond Avery, and our class valedictorian for the class of 2020 is James Hawkins. They are 2 very deserving, hardworking young men who truly deserve that accomplishment and achievement, and we cannot be any more proud of them and of all of our students. And we just continue to be proud of all of the work you're doing. We know that it's not easy. We know that it's difficult at times to balance everything, but you all are truly in our thoughts and prayers, and we cannot be any more proud of you all.
And yesterday it was really interesting as we were driving along different roads to get to homes throughout the day. You could see people in their cars looking at a bus and the quizzical looks of what is a bus doing out? And then what was also really neat, again, going back to the simplicity of the time right now and how we are realizing things maybe that we took for granted. Almost every home we visited yesterday remarked at how great it was to see the bus, since we all, jumped on the bus and took that across our area. And so again, just the simple things of just not even realizing how much it means to see a school bus coming into your home, and then to see people from school to say hello to you.
So it's been a busy 24 hours. It's also been a pretty busy week as we've been making plans for the next few weeks of school that are left. And we do have some announcements about some things that are coming up. Mother's Day is this weekend. Early Childhood will be honoring their mothers on Friday. They are doing another drive-through to pick up packets, but also mothers will receive a special treat on Friday. So, early childhood families, please drive by. Again, we love to see your faces from a safe distance from your car, and we'll see you on Friday. Another opportunity that has been presented to us that I'd like to share with you all, we have a parent who works at the Pearl at Watkins Center, and she offered an opportunity for our families, any ages, to come and play window tic tac toe with their residents. The Pearl is a memory care center, and they have several residents there. And I'm reading my notes here, so I don't leave anything out. But they are inviting students to pair up with a resident and play tic tac toe on the windows. So there will be chalk markers that you all will play tic tac toe with them with, and you guys can draw pictures or write notes on the windows as well. But the Pearl at Watkins Center is a memory care community that has had to have all in-person visitation shut down since March 9th. So they've had very little interaction with people, and their staff is getting creative about how families and community members can interact with them. There will be obviously safety precautions in place. Stations at windows will be 6 feet apart at least, and there will be no physical interaction with any team members or residents. But this is a wonderful opportunity if you're looking to get out and do something good and have a little fun. Um, I encourage you to wear a BSH shirt or some BSH attire. And the Pearl will also be providing a special treat to all of the volunteers. So that will be on Friday, this Friday from 2 to 3. And if you have questions or if you're interested and want to know more, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll do my best to answer your questions and put you in touch with the staff there. So think about it, and it's a great opportunity to do something good in the community.
So this Friday we have another event going on. Well, it's not going to be necessarily an event. It's more of an email that we'll be sending out to our senior families. So in addition to early childhood, where there's going to be the pickup day, and then also what Paula just shared as an opportunity for the community. There's also seniors. By Friday, we are going to be emailing, as we said last week, information about senior specific events. We've shared that there is going to be a virtual graduation that's going to take place on the same day as we regularly had graduation, which is June 6th. All Catholic high schools in our area in the diocese have decided to do the same thing. So that is consistent across Catholic high schools, and that is to have a virtual graduation on the day that graduation was supposed to occur. But we are also going to have some other surprises along the way that we want to share with our senior families. And we're going to do that through email. So you see the things that we've been working on. And again, just want to make the class of 2020 feel as special as possible during this time, this very unique time.
And seniors, you're going to have a special delivery today as well from a few staff members and maybe a couple of teachers too. So watch out for that. They'll be making the rounds later today to your homes. So we'd love to hear from you. If you have questions, feel free to type in the live chat. We'll answer as we go. But we would love to hear from you. And as always, please reach out through email or phone call and let us know what's working, what's not working. If you need support, we are here for you. And like Mrs. Perry said, we're in the home stretch. So let's finish this strong and let's finish this together.
And when we move into after our last week of instruction, which is going to be May 29th, May 28th is towards the end of our time together with remote learning, we will be sending out another survey to parents and students because we do want to hear, we had a survey that went out to parents twice a few weeks ago. And then also we want one where it's the culmination of everything to hear from you, things that have worked, things that haven't worked, so that we can put all that together as well as student feedback so that we can make plans for if there needs to be a remote learning 2.0 at some point. We will take all that into consideration as we move forward into next school year.
And upper school students, Mrs. Lively reached out to you, I believe it was last week, about course selection for next year. And I know a lot of information went out about next year. So parents, we are working on making plans for parent Zoom meetings at the end of this month. We'll have a high school night, and then a rising sixth grader night, and then a night for our rising seventh and eighth graders. And we'll talk about the academics for next year, any changes that are happening. And we really look forward to just being able to come together virtually, face to face, and answer any specific questions you might have about next year.
Also in the planning stage, we mentioned senior graduation, but we are also planning an 8th grade graduation, a 5th grade graduation, and a kindergarten graduation. And all that information will be coming in the next couple of weeks as we finalize those plans. Lots of ideas that have been shared between teachers as well as hearing from parents. And so we did want you to know that we are actively planning those events, and that information will come out in the next couple of weeks as well.
So I don't see any questions yet. We've loved seeing your post on social media about how things are going. We love seeing what you're doing at home. I see a lot of you guys outside doing activities and things. And we continue to get a lot of great feedback about what is happening and the good things that are happening.
And social media this month of May is devoted to our seniors. There's a senior of the day is posted, and many people have already started to see them. And that is something that we're doing between during the work weeks, the school days, between now and the end of May to feature one senior with information about them to make that day special for the senior. One other date to focus on is the beginning of June. So the first week of June, we shared this last Tuesday telegram, but did want to talk about it again. During the first week of June, we are going to have a scheduled pickup day and drop-off day for all of the school, but we're going to have to schedule it so that we keep it to the limit of 10 people or less. So there'll be a very detailed schedule of when you can come by for lower school, early childhood, lower school, upper school, if you need to pick up anything from teacher classrooms. But then also for students that have Chromebooks, we'll have in that schedule when and where you'll be dropping off Chromebooks, because we will take them over the summer. Students will get back their Chromebook at the beginning of the year, but we do need to do some imaging and cleaning up of each Chromebook. And so during the first week of June, again, it'll be scheduled. So you'll have a specific time and day that grade levels will come to campus to take care of that.
We're also working on getting out enrollment contracts. We've gotten a couple of questions this week about that. We are steadily working on mailing those out. For those who've applied for financial aid, you'll be hearing from us probably starting next week. We've been reviewing applications this week, and so we are working on your contracts. Be patient with us, please. And if you have questions about them, please feel free to reach out to me or to Mrs. Merritt in the finance office.
So there's a question by Mrs. Mann, do all students turn in their Chromebooks, and specifically ninth graders? And yes, all students will be turning in Chromebooks, and that'll be an opportunity for us over the summer to re-image and to clean up the Chromebooks so that they're at peak performance. When we get back, students will get back the same Chromebook, but we will just take care of our end technology wise of cleaning it up and reissuing it to students at the start of the year.
And we have a question about returning books. I think this might refer to last year we did a book buyback for MBS. So families did get a refund. We are working with MBS and we will get that information to you. And it'll be very similar to last year. It'll probably be that first week of June where you will drop off your books and we will ship them for you to MBS and you'll receive a refund.
Now we'll give a few more minutes for people to put up any questions that you might have. And what we can do is, just like we did last week, we want to spend some time putting a spotlight on remote learning in early childhood, lower school, and upper school. And just in case there's things that maybe you're not aware of that are going on with remote learning, we did want to showcase some things. So with early childhood, for those who don't have a child that's in early childhood, it's been really neat to see that they are jumping right in with using video conferencing and ways to connect with our littles, that again, at the start of this, probably nobody would have thought that that would have been something where students are engaging through video conferencing. So for those who don't know, we have that, in upper school, it's a requirement for each class every week is meeting and touching base, but that's happening all the way down in lower school and in early childhood.
We have teachers doing one-on-one Zoom meetings, even as young as for our early childhood students. We have our elementary school teachers doing one-on-one Zoom meetings. They are doing reading groups through Zoom. Mrs. Mills is doing her version of Flat Stanley. And so students will be taking mini Mrs. Mills around and taking photographs and sending stories of what their adventures are. So our teachers are getting really creative, and it's been amazing to see how our younger students have adapted to the virtual learning and Zoom.
Also in lower school, last week we mentioned, it was last Friday, that Blessed Sacrament, our reading night, was going to occur at the Richmond Flying Squirrel Stadium. And for those who would go, Blessed Sacrament would have been featured. And that wasn't happening. Obviously, baseball has yet to start. But Nutsy the squirrel reached out to Mrs. Anderson, our first grade teacher, to ask if Nutsy could join in their weekly Zoom call. And so sure enough, Nutsy did that last week. And what was so neat about it was Nutsy had, at the end of the call, they actually all read together Curious George Plays Baseball. And then Nutsy had a whiteboard just like this. And so students would ask Nutsy questions and he would write an answer and hold it up for students. And continuing along that theme of community, whether it's outside community groups or community members jumping in with classrooms, today they're for fifth grade, Mr. Kavanaugh, who is the father of one of our fourth grade students, he is a pilot, and there is something known as the Adopt a Pilot program. And Mrs. Flowers implemented that in her classroom. And so Mr. Kavanaugh met with students several months ago. And so now he's coming back through Zoom. They're going to be meeting today with him to continue lessons with the Adopt a Pilot program. And so we're very thankful for Mr. Kavanaugh doing that. And again, having some interaction with community members, students are having the opportunity to do that through video conferencing.
For upper school, we do have students, even though the AP exam is optional, we actually have several students who are taking the AP exam, and that'll start next week. They've been preparing all year, and they still wanted the opportunity to take their exam or exams, depending on how many they're taking. So please keep those students in your thoughts and prayers as they take their exams next week.
As AP students have demonstrated their perseverance and dedication, we've had many students in other classes during this remote learning who are doing the same exact thing, and just wanted to give a couple examples. One, Hallie Davis, who is an 11th grader, she last week, teacher shared with us that she went around to find hotspots in order for her to be able to attend her Zoom meetings. And she has just been on top of her work, and the dedication is palpable. And so the teachers were so proud of her and mentioned that. And so we did want to highlight her and her efforts of literally driving around in order to be in with her classmates and her teachers during their weekly check-in meetings. Also, Dr. Fraser shared with us that there are chemistry students who are figuring out how they can use in terms of in Google Docs and creating, and when they're submitting their work, they're formulas and they're putting in equations that they're typing in, which if anybody has done that before, it's very difficult. And so students are learning these skills that, again, it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning, just that there are positives within this hardship. They are learning skills through this that is going to serve them moving forward. Those who want to go into college, and just moving forward, they're figuring out skills now that are going to benefit them later.
We're getting a couple of questions. One question is, how should we get box tops to you? You can, if you are still cutting them out, you can mail them to us. You can also bring them by school. Mrs. Perry and I are here just about every day, so just let us know when you're coming. Another great thing about box tops that I discovered during this time of quarantine is that you can now do box tops through an app on your phone. And this has really been awesome because all you have to do is scan your receipts. And I actually remember to do that, and it just goes straight into the app, and then we get the money. It's a lot quicker than cutting out those box tops, so it might be something that you might want to look into. We're also getting a question about summer reading lists. This information we're working on, as well as supply lists. This will come to you probably at the end of May, early June. We want to let you guys get through the next couple of weeks before we start moving into summer work and summer reading. But we are working on those lists, and we'll get those to you by early June.
And again, to reiterate, please reach out to us. Let us know if you have any questions, if there's any way we can help now that we are, less than 4 weeks away to officially closing remote learning. And again, appreciate everything that parents are doing, families are doing, and recognize all the efforts that it's taking to keep students engaged with learning, and then also all that you have going on at home.
We're all in this together, so please rely on us. Please reach out to us. We are here for you. And like we said, we continue to be very proud of you all and the work that you're doing, and the support that you're giving one another and the support you've shown to us as well. So thank you very much.
And we look forward to seeing you next week for our Tuesday Telegram then. Until then, enjoy the beautiful weather, even if it's a little cooler, and focus on just slowing down and appreciating the time that you have with your families.
And happy Mother's Day. Have a great
Bye.
weekend. Bye.